Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.
A North Texas judge has lowered the bond for a 17-year-old accused of killing another teen at a track meet. This was originally set at $1 million.
But the judge lowered it to $250,000. Fox's Sarah Legre is live outside the courthouse in Frisco, Texas. Why the lower bond?
Well, one of the reasons, John, was because of his character. That was something that was mentioned, but also the defense attorney, he interviewed Karmelo Anthony's father, who spoke about their financial issues. The father says that he's had to take a permanent leave from his job, at least for the time being. At this point, he says it's indefinite to sort through this tough time. So, of course, finances, and when we're doing any kind of bond reduction hearing, John and Christina, this is one of the things that is brought to the forefront, as the defense attorney made clear today when bringing Karmelo Anthony's father on the witness stand. I also want to make a note that Anthony was released earlier this afternoon, just a few hours ago, because of that reduced bond. Again, dropping from $1 million to $250,000. Now, as I mentioned, we heard from Anthony's father, and he spoke more so to the character as well. He said his son is a straight A student, that he is a churchgoer, and that he's also the captain of both his football team and track team a little bit earlier.
Wow, guys, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Man, listen, hey, man, it's not ending, guys. It's a long haul of what we're dealing with when it comes to these two teams that had this mishap in Frisco at this track event. And the deal is, it's crazy because the story gets even more wilder when you start looking at the judge now is getting death threats. OG, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. Yeah, it's discerning, that a black judge is being under all of this scrutiny because she made her decision. If it had been one of her white counterparts, it wouldn't be. It says here, Judge Angela Tucker is now under increased scrutiny after lowering Karmelo Anthony's bail from $1 million to $250,000 in the teen's release for his house arrest. Anthony accused of fatally stabbing a high school student, Austin Metcalf, during a track meet at the city of Frisco, April the 2nd. According to his defense, the teen is described as both an honor student and captain of his track team and football team, claims he acted in self-defense. Despite the severity of the charges, Tucker considered Anthony's previous clean record and deciding to reduce his bond, ignited much backlash since the decision. Tucker's personal information has been leaked online. Her safety has been threatened. The situation has escalated to the point where Collin County Sheriff's Office and the FBI are now involved, ensuring her protection with enhanced security measures. This is just gone, it's just, man, that it is sad how people will take something, and when it comes to us, they take these extreme measures and go, where we can't go,
Well, OG, I don't know about that. And the reason I don't know about that is because I've seen when there was issues, when that happened with, whether it was Trayvon or whether it was whoever that was having issues, when it became a black and white thing, we've had our time where we would step up and say something too. So these guys, I think this judge knew that this was coming for her if she made that decision. I think she was willing to stand by the decision that she made. But I know she had to expect this to happen.
No, we've stepped up. You talk about Trayvon Martin and Zimmerman. Nobody has ever, no black has ever threatened a judge for making a wrong decision.
I'm not saying she threatened him, but we made a stance to say we were supporting him.
We prayed and did vigils.
No, we did marches and stuff too. Now, don't do that.
March. That's what I'm saying. Pray and march. You ain't never fought nothing. You never gave a death threat. You never took action. When Ruth killed 9 blacks in the church, he was treated with guarded hands, put him on suicide watch. But nobody ever challenged a white judge for the decisions they made for white people killing blacks.
Yeah, I agree with you about that part, but I was just saying we do step up. But I'm really just concerned because you would think that this would be a little less of a aggressive, man, with the way, but you won't. I said it early on, and y'all everybody in the world was like, oh, it's a black and white thing. I kept it to a level of it's two teen kids, and me and you went back and forth about that. I still stand on the fact that these are two teen boys at a track meet. Both of them participates in high school activities, and we can't set up and act as if both sides of this, not only lives changed, but at the end of the day, Austin Metcalf lost his life out there that day. That's the part I always say.
He gave his life up. You're talking about two boys, one with American entitlement, and one with growing up under discrimination. No matter how he has a successful father, he lives with a mother and a father. In America, he's still a black child.
No, I get it. But at the end of the day, I get it being black and white, but we're not going to be able to not face these circumstances. No, face the circumstances of dealing with both people, both colors. We not leaving this earth, or we're not doing a total separation. So therefore, we have to find a way to live on this earth together and respect one another at the end of the day. It ain't going to go away. These kids, like I said, this is a rival football, basketball. These schools are high school rival schools from what I'm hearing. And with that being said, they're going to see each other again, not only next year, but this year too at track meets. This is not going away. And that's the part that I keep speaking up for, the fact of both sides. That's the only reason. But I understand that this is a deal where self-defense have been pretty much called out from the very beginning. I understand that. And I understand that the justice has to prevail in whoever side it goes on. But I do know that these kids that go to these different schools still have to come together and face off on each other. And that we have to be careful on.
They do it every day, but it's not the point of the sport or the athletes. Yes, they integrate every day, but still, no matter what you do, it's still black and white, bro.
Okay, I definitely hear you, OG. I got this other guy, Roland Martin. I want to play a little bit of his show as well. And definitely this is your cousin because he strongly agrees with you. And at the end of the day, these are guys that are media black. I think black media has to keep voicing their opinions on this. I definitely know that Roland Martin does a great job over there, guys. Go check out his entire video. But he had, I believe he had Dominique on his, and this is a motivational speaker on his show. And here's a portion of it.
17-year-old Karmelo Anthony. This is him being released from jail. Okay, he's been released from jail. A black judge lowered the bond. Well, that black judge has been getting death threats as a result of that. That's Judge Angela Tucker. She's been getting massive death threats. Now, again, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony says he was only protecting himself when Austin Metcalf, according to witness statements to police, tried to shove Anthony, who attended a rival high school, out of a pop-up tent when Anthony grabbed a knife from his backpack and stabbed Metcalf in the heart. Now, Anthony is now out on bond. Now, his parents held a news conference today, and the father of Metcalf showed up. Here's
wow, and that's Roland Martin just expressing the fact of what the same thing this judge was threatened, and also talking about Jeff showing up, the Metcalf father showing up to this, as me and OG spoke about yesterday. But yeah, this thing is not slowing down. And I'm telling you now, OG, at some point, we don't want to erupt this whole situation again. We're trying to find a way. Yeah, but do we want to lose? Do we want other teams getting into different confrontations?
that's has nothing to do with team sports. This is a black and white situation. Just like, okay, let's tell the audience what you told me earlier about a knife versus a cleat.
Yeah, I seen that in our comments though, and I can't really. Allegedly, this was some type of a cleat cleaner or something, is what they're saying. In the comments, I seen this, that it wasn't actually a knife. So this is stuff that they're alleging as well, which would make sense. I was like, okay, that makes sense that he would have something that deals with a cleat. And
he used the knife to clean his cleats because the cleats get clay in them, get stuff. That could be a reason that if it was a knife, whatever he brought, you need a sharp object to clean your cleats. So he wasn't just a spectator that just perchance came. He was just trying to get out of the rain during his event. So it's just like, and just like we look at it like this: if that had been a white judge getting threats, every judge in that department or in that county would have rose up against it and made outrage. You don't hear none of the rest of those black judges saying anything about Miss Tucker. The same thing happened with, what's the boy's name, the football player that got on one knee?
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick. He made a stance. The majority of football players are black, and they didn't back him. The white few Americans. What does the Pledge of Allegiance have anything to do with sports? When he made that statement, he had a right to make, but they barred him, and Negroes didn't do nothing. They hollered and prayed for a couple, but did no football player back him the way they should have backed him.
And I agree with that, but I'm saying on the judge thing, I don't think you can say that they're not backing her. The FBI and the authorities have gotten involved for her protection, and you don't know what's going on behind the scene with what these guys are doing with her.
I've been in this life all my life, and I know what white people do, and I know what Negroes do. Nothing at all.
Well, we've made some stance at points, man. You know, we came a long ways from where we used to be, OG.
No, we did. We worse now in 2025 than we were in 19.
No. We got a black judge that's basically letting this brother out. You had a black judge over there when Yellow Beezy went through his situation. The black judges in the Texas area looks to be stepping up and doing what they feel they need to do in their position, and it's not easy for them to make these decisions. They could have went the other way, OG. So I refuse to agree with you that we hadn't made strides.
We ain't made no strides at all. Now you say again, it was a black judge,
two females.
Okay, wait a minute. Black female that raised up for Yellow Beezy. It was a black female that raised up for Karmelo Anthony. Where's the black man judge standing up for her?
Well, I get it, OG. I agree. I hear where you're coming from.
Where's a black man judge standing up for her? Why is she out there by herself?
Well, yeah. Well, it's few and far between. We don't just flood.
No. It should have been a black man standing up and making a statement. If anything happened to this judge on this bench, I'll do so and so.
No, Joe. Wait a minute. Do what?
Where's the black man? Where's the black man at?
Watch out now. We're not gonna call them that, OG. All I'm saying is it ain't that many of them. They're out there. This thing is she's getting the security that she's supposed to get from the FBI and the law enforcement, according to what the report stated.
All of white.
Hold on. Let me play. Now I gotta go into Dominique Alexander because he spoke. Now they was saying, because he was the one out there with the Anthony family, and he was standing on the podium, and they was calling him the lawyer, which he's not the lawyer. You know, Mike Howard is the lawyer, but they was trying to say that he basically, he got some very harsh tweets himself. But let me play a little bit of what he had to say.
Reporting Carmelo Anthony, we are supporting him because if you can support your white baby, we can support our black kid, right? And so these laws are not just created for some, they're created for all, right? And so just like he should have his right to be able to claim self-defense, and what I want them to understand is Carmelo didn't come out days later and claim self-defense. He claimed self-defense the moments the police touched him, the moments the police even arrested him and detained him. He didn't come days later. He has always, and it's in the affidavit. But what these people have done is create it as a racial thing. We see that even with this judge. This judge is literally has been a Republican for over 3 decades. I personally don't agree with her political views or whatever it may be. She will probably never be at a Next Generation Action Network protest or anything we do, right? But what they show Black America is, regardless of what ballot box you check, you are still Black in America.
Well, listen, man, I definitely, Dominique is doing a hell of a job stepping up, supporting the Carmelo family, the Anthonys. To be honest with you, it's just an unfortunate situation, man, all around. And the reason I say that is because it's so many lives being, took. Everybody across America, everybody's just pretty much split in half. It's very obvious that this can turn into something that, okay, these were two teams that was at, it could have been a little bit less of a situation if it was 2 whites or 2 blacks, but it's a black and a white, and so that's what makes it so racial now all of a sudden, and everybody's at each other's throat. OG, how do we get past this if we can't come to some kind of compromise?
We can't get past it until we understand who we are in Black America and bond ourselves and say no more. We can't have a lopsided justice. It's all right for you, but it's not all right for me. I think people have to be held accountable, and you have to be willing to die, not just protest, not just pray. You have to be willing to die to live for what you really want. And we just haven't really got to the place where we're able to want to sacrifice anything. Everything that we get has to be in our convenience. We don't want to strive or make an extra. Every Black, no matter what your situation is, needs to stand behind this Black situation, period. But we got Negroes with opinions like this boy, Jimmy the Cricket looking Eddie Griffin talking about he should have threw hands. Eddie Griffin ain't had a fight in his life.
OG, wait a minute. OG, you telling me you don't think it was a thing where if it would have been a fight, if it could have been a fight, that they'd have both lived to see another day and that wouldn't have been a thing? Or because that's what Eddie Griffin was saying.
I believe if it had been a fight, Metcalf and his twin brother and every other white boy that was there would have beat Carmelo Anthony to death.
Wow. It's a way to look at it. I mean, that's a hell of a way to look at it.
It wouldn't have been just a head-up fight. They don't do that. The Ku Klux Klan don't do that. We don't die, we multiply. That's and when it comes to a Black, I've seen it in my lifetime, that when you get beat up by white people, the mother comes out, kill that nigga. The father, everybody's involved. But if a white boy comes in your neighborhood and y'all start beating him up, Miss Angle, y'all leave that boy alone. There's going to always be a Black protector for white folks, but it's no protector for Black folks.
Well, OG, let me ask you this, and you have strong words for our people to go out here and get on the battlefield. But what do you say to them kids that's going to that next track event or that next high school competition event, with these two schools being rival schools, have been for many, many years, and then now this has happened where one captain of a football, captain of a track team have murdered, self-defense as being claimed. what do you say to these students that's having to go back and face these tough situations and seeing each other?
I can say this with certainty. Young people, deal with life. Be a respecter of space. Occupy your space and be proud of your space, and quit trying to intervene with people that don't like you.
Wow. Yeah, and I just say I'm praying for both sides that there can be some some type of healing process for these schools, man, when they are coming together or being around each other. These different parents that's having to see each other. Like I said, Metcalf lost his life, and now you got to realize Karmelo Anthony is facing murder right now, murder charge. But he's facing murder charges. But I'm hearing that the grand jury haven't brought the charges against him yet. Why do you think there's a delay, OG?
Because first he's a minor, and then in the preponderance of evidence, they're going to bring charges. But, like you say, now his life has told this black kid's life, 17 years old. With all the media every day, he's thinking about the life. His life has changed forever. After murder, you're never the same person. He's not the little boy track version that he started off. Now he dug in.
Wow.
To shoot somebody is one thing, but he stabbed this boy. That's up close personal. He watched him die.
Wow. Man, again, and I agree wholeheartedly that it was up close and personal. And the one thing I want to ask you before we end this thing, OG, is what about the judge? What's her name again? What about her?
Angela, Miss Tucker.
Yeah, what about Miss Tucker? I mean, what does she do facing the threats and all the stuff she's having to deal with, and then having to go back?
All of these black militants that are around here that's going to the Ku Klux Klan houses with guns, where are y'all at? Y'all need to be at the courtroom bearing arms, protecting black men. Need to stand up for Angela Tucker. That's all. I'm just saying that we do all of this marching and sitting out in front of the courthouse, but when we need you, where are you at?
Wow. Well, I'm definitely praying for Angela Tucker and her family, and also for all parties, for the Metcalf family, for also the Anthony family. No. It needs to be unity, and it needs to be healing at some point, because we all got to live in this country together, man. That's all I can say about that. Hey, OG, man, I'm not going there with you guys. Get in the comments. Let us know. What do you think about the death threats and that the judge is getting, and Miss Tucker, and just give us some comments on how you feel about this whole situation. Boss Talk 101 reviews.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.